Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to the Ultimate Racing Championships here in China for round 3 of the season. As always, we are starting off here with the Xbox One Tier 2 race, getting the night underway, hopefully in style. I'm your commentator, James Casey, and hopefully we've got a good night of racing ahead of us. Obviously, in Tier 2 so far this season, it has been ERL who have dominated in the Renault car there. It was ERL Vader who took victory in Australia in dominant fashion, and then they got a 1-2 in Bahrain with ERL Kimura there, taking the victory for them in that race. So a very good start to the season for ERL, and I know that a lot of teams are now keen to try and break that streak and work their own teams up onto the top step of the rostrum. But who could it be? Let's find out. 14 minutes to go in qualifying here, and the first times are just coming in now. We're looking at TSR Baztec, who's just coming towards the hairpin here in the Red Bull for Tempet Shoot Racing. And it's LR at the moment who sits at the top for Livid Racing. What can Baztec do? He can put himself into 3rd position so far, but obviously there is plenty of time still left to go. Killer Snipes here going into final corner. He slots himself into 5th position there. Still Glitcher at the top for the and ERL Vader there, not setting a competitive lap and sitting in 11th. Tom 123 for the win, goes to the top there in the Mercedes for Sync Motorsport early on in this session. Let's see what tyres people are using. They're all using the medium tyres at the moment. Obviously 18-minute session, so you've got time for 3 runs really. Frobo Joba there jumps to the top. That's the first time that we've seen on the ultra soft tyres, and that is a big improvement. 4/10 of a second quicker in the Williams there for 183 Esports. And yeah, that just shows kind of the difference that we expect to see. There are 3 runs going to be for the drivers, so plenty of opportunity to put on fast tyres later in the session. Here comes Vader for another lap. Oh, and his teammate there diving out of the way in the straights and going into the polystyrene barrier there, does Kimura, as Vader continues on in his lap. But yeah, go back to my point again, yeah. We will see the guys putting on either the soft or the ultra soft tyres later on. Strategy similar to Bahrain here, in that if you qualify on the soft compound tyres, you can do an easy one-stop strategy. What a lap that is from Vader, going to the top there by 0.5 of a second on the second lap on those medium tyres. But if you're qualifying on the ultra soft tyres, probably going to be tough to do a one-stop strategy. So it's going to be pretty crucial here what tyres people use in this qualifying session. At the moment, as I said, most people on the medium tyres, but plenty of time to go. 11.5 minutes as people start working their way back into the pit lane now after a few sighting laps. Full turnout we have for today's race, which is very nice to see. I think we had a couple missing in Bahrain, but yeah, everyone is here, and we've got a few new faces as well that could change things up. So for Thrive, there's no TR Dutchman this race. We have RSR Danny there instead in the second McLaren alongside TR Pickless, and that car just ahead of him at the moment, BPRL Reversal, making an appearance here for BPRL as a reserve. BPRL Imp, who had a very good race in Australia, unfortunately unable to make it today. I think other than that, we're seeing familiar faces, teams getting pretty reliable lineups, which is nice to see. In previous seasons gone by, we've seen a lot of mixed lineups between races, shall we say, but very nice to see most teams finding 2 drivers able to compete in a good number of the rounds so far. Bartek Fraz has just gone into third position there with a 131.777 on the medium tyres. Still going round, so giving himself plenty of laps on those tyres. Separation at the moment, not too large, apart from the ERL Vader time there at the top. There has been a lot of discussion over ERL and their kind of dominance, and whether really they could compete in Tier 1, but they are here in Tier 2 and doing a very, very good job. And I think that there are drivers out there, the two reserves I mentioned coming in today, who have got good experience at a high level of league racing, so they could possibly be contenders. We will see as tonight's racing goes on. Ben Ziller has just jumped into second position there for Sync, and those guys have been pretty strong so far this season in terms of their pace. Let's just have a quick look through the standings for the moment, just to see how things are going on. And as I say that, I'm struggling to find it. Just give me a second here. It's not where I thought it was, the Tier 2 standings. A lot of cars now coming out for their second stints. A smattering of soft compound tyres I see there. Baztec is one of those. Pro Gamer, it's Pro Gamer, another one of those. Still in the pits, but just about to come out of the pits. So here are the standings then after 2 rounds. Here's LCR Ben on the ultra soft tyres. He'll be looking to set a good lap with those. So at the moment it is ERL Vader at the top with 43 points, a first and a second position so far for him. In second position it is ESR Maze, who's had 2 third place finishes so far in the Williams there for 183 Esports. Have had a good start to the season. And then we've got Tom 123 for the win, who placed second in Australia, and then followed up with a solid 5th position in Bahrain. LCR Ben goes to the top there with those ultra soft tyres, making the use of those and going comfortably to the top. But probably not the tyres that you would like to start on, but if you get a good track position out of it, it could be worth it. So Ben now at the top, and that peg has been moved a long way up from what it was previously. Frobo Jobo here, he'll be looking to improve also on those ultra soft tyres. Going back to the standings, Kimura is in 4th, 25 points after that win in Bahrain, but he didn't start in Australia, he didn't race there. So he's not as high as he might have been had he done that. And then after that we've got a little bit of a gap of about 10 points. At the moment that kind of second position, only 5 points separating 3 drivers there. In terms of the league championship, just quickly running through that. ERL, of course, very dominant, 40 points in front at the moment. Thanks to those results. Frobo Jobo has improved to a 31.3 on those ultra soft tyres. And ERL Kimura is still out there on the medium tyres with 6 minutes left to go in this session, which is pretty brave, I would say. He's only going to have 1 run on the softs, I would imagine, that he'll use. That's what we're seeing most people doing at the moment. Bartek Fraz just about to come out on those. Glitcher as well. Not seeing too many cars out on track, but a few guys starting to do it. And May is also on the medium compound tyres there. And those are tyres that he's already used for a couple of laps as well, which is pretty interesting. Not sure what that is all about. Going back to the standings, so 183, thanks to Amaze, a couple of podiums sit nicely in second position with 30 points, but they haven't had any points from their second driver in Frobo Jobo. And that's the same with Sync. Again, 28 points for them, all from Tom. And then we've got Tempet Shoot, who didn't have a good round in Australia, but they sit on 20 points, a little bit far behind of the second and third place teams, but they had a good round in Bahrain with both their drivers showing very, very nicely. Yes, I'm amazed. He's starting a lap here on 2-lap-old medium tyres. A little bit confused as to why he's doing that. Maybe an alternate strategy, but I would have thought that soft compound tyres would be the ones that you would like to start on. Kimura has just improved there He's still going on the medium tyres, and at the moment he's sitting up in 4th position. Those two guys there for URL doing a very good job, despite being on the slowest compound of tyres. Right, still a lot of cars in the pits here. Bartek Fraz has just come out, but we're still seeing Benzilla and Glitcher in the pit lane there. BPRL reversal here is on an outlap. Got this thing with the camera again where it doesn't want to scroll through. He's on an outlap, about to start a lap here for BPRL. Reversal is someone who I think we can expect to see higher than 17th position. Hasn't really put in a lap yet. We know he can do better than that, 133.3. We'll just ride on board with him here because we've got a lot of cars in the pit lane, so he's one of the few guys out there. And he's on the soft compound tyres as well. So let's go on board now for a lap with reversal. Coming into turn 1, which just goes on and on and on. And you're hitting the late apex there. And then setting yourself up for an important run onto a shortish kind of straight, which does have a little bit of a curve in it. But it is important that you get a good exit there. And braking into the hairpin here. Just all about setting the car up again for the exit, as we've got a high speed corner coming up here, which is all about bravery and keeping the car stable. Really important that you keep it together through there. And now you've just got to hold your line, which is really, really difficult in this bit. Easy to get sucked out wide through all that section, but Reversal seems to have done it pretty well. A little bit of oversteer, which would have cost him time, but altogether holding the line pretty well. And now, of course, we're onto another long, long corner. The snail setting it up for the massive, massive straight, which is, of course, absolutely crucial. On the power, waiting a long, long time, then putting on the DRS, and now just preparing yourself, making sure the car's all together, and braking here at the 100 meter board, slowing the car down nicely, making sure not to lock a brake, and then gearing it up for the final corner, which is again about the bravery. Tuck it in there, hold it onto the track, use all the track you can, but not too much, and Reversal finishes the lap and goes into 4th position. A respectable effort there for him. So yeah, that is how you do a lap. Very good effort from him, but 8/10 off that current pole time from LCR Ben, who's going out once again on the ultra soft tyres. So he's committed to those. And then we're finally seeing the ERL guys coming out of the pits, or Vader at least, on the soft tyres. Everyone now on softs other than Ben and Frobo Jobo. So those guys have kind of proved that you can put your car up there, but it is a gamble because most guys going with the softs. Bartek Fraz, he's completed his lap and gone into 3rd, but Tom has gone to the top there, just pipping Elson by less than a 10th there. Very, very close. What's that? That is 36 thousandths of a second that he's done that by, so very, very close run thing there. He's got time for another lap if he wants to do it. I think he is going for another one. But will we see an improvement from those guys? A lot of people who are still yet to set a time on these soft compound tyres. So we will be seeing the order shaped up and changed quite a bit here. Reversal slowing the car down. Presume that he's trying to find a bit of clear air for a second run. Glitcher has just gone into 4th position there. And that is a good effort from him. But again, pretty big gap there to Tom. LCR Ben now regains that pole position. Ultra soft tyres working well there for him. And he's gone 2/10 clear of Tom. And those guys are pretty clear of the rest of the field at the moment. Presume that that'll be it for Ben. Now it looks like he's trying another lap, which will really mean that he's starting on worn out tyres pretty much going into the race. These ultra soft tyres don't give much grip past their kind of 4th or 5th lap really on the tyres, so that's not going to be ideal for him. Vader here now getting underway. He's got to be the man that we're looking out for in Bahrain. We kind of thought it was all over for him, and he came out of nowhere and set pole comfortably, so we've got to be looking out for him. BPRL Goblin has just retired there, but Benzilla, sorry, I missed that. He's gone into 2nd place. That's 2 sinks in the top 3, so that is good for those guys. But will they stay there with 10 seconds left to go? Now 5, and yeah, that's going to be it. Of course, the checker flag coming out, and people then just able to finish their current laps. So this is it, the final chance for a lot of them. Before Reversal was also retired. He's down in 11th, so he's been shunted quite a long way down by late improvements. URC Maze there in 4th position. He's going for another one. He's just started a lap. Haven't seen anyone take the checkered flag yet. So it looks like Vader might be the first one to do so. But where is he going to go? That is going to be crucial. We've got a yellow, so something is going on there. LCR Ben takes the checkered flag, doesn't improve on his time. Chris Macker-Jones goes up into 6th on his final lap. Vader crosses the line and can only manage 5th position. So that is 3/10 almost off pole position there. And down in 5th place is the ERL driver. TSR Ice-D's not going for it. What about Bartek Fraz? He looks like he is going for it for one last lap. Coming into the final corner now, the PFL driver. Opening up the DRS to the run to the line, putting himself into 3rd position, splitting the 2 sync cars, but they can still improve if they're going for it. No, Tom has backed out. Here's a Maze though, we said about him jumping up to 4th and just starting another lap, so I think he'll be one of the last cars to cross the line, as we're seeing a lot of checkered flags there now. Oh no, he's back down. ERL Kima has only managed 7th as well, so ERL starting down in 6th and 7th position there. The gamble has worked for LCR Ben. He's going to start on the ultra soft tyres, but he's on pole position, so he's got fantastic track position, and that might make it worthwhile for him. Benzilla is going to be starting from 2nd position there, and oh crikey, that was a big crash. The AI kind of not working out what to do. Then we've got PFL Bartek Fraz 3rd, Tom 4th in the other sync car, 183 Esports. Represented by ESR and Maze there in 5th, ERL 6th and 7th. TSR Ice-D, I think they're going to be a bit disappointed, our tempo sheet with that. They're 8th and 11th, I think, with another car of Baztec. So that's not great for those guys after a positive Bahrain. But they were stronger in the race last week than they were in qualifying. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see with those guys to see what they can do in the race. Right, let's just run it through then. So, yeah, as we said, where were we? We were at Ice-D, then Chris Macker-Jones is in 9th. Then we've got LR Glitcher in the top 10. Everyone else can start on tyres they wish. Will some people try the mediums? We've got Baztec there in 11th. Froberjo is going to be disappointed using the ultra soft tyres, but only in 12th. Reversal in 13th. Killer Snipes in 14th. Pickless 15th. Fredster down in 16th. It's Pro Gamer 17th. Goblin in 18th, and then we didn't really see times from Clone Troop and Danny, those guys more than 10 seconds off the pace. Right, so here we are then. Of course, no formation laps, so we're going to be going straight into the at China. Let's see what the ERL guys can do from 6th and 7th. They're going to have good starts. And that's going to be interesting. But the main thing I'm looking out for early on is how quick those ultra soft tyres run out on LCR Ben's car. I fear for him. I think that he's in a fantastic position, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure at the start of this race. It's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to work very, very hard to maintain that position. And even if he does at the start, he's then going to be out of sync in terms of strategy, and that could play a real disadvantage to him. Right, here we go. The counter is going in my ears, which means we are about to get underway here in China with the first race of the night. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are racing here in China, and it looks like he's got a pretty good start, getting away there nicely on the ultra soft tyres. PFL Bartek Fraz looking around the outside of Benzilla, but Benzilla should hold that, which he does indeed. And now Bartek Fraz is going to be under pressure from Tom down the inside, but Amazed has managed to scuttle underneath both of those guys and move up into 3rd position. Now looking around the outside of Bartek Fraz, and he gets that move done there. Not a good start for Tom there, as Amazed made a very good move down the inside. ERL, making up one place there with Kima. But Vader dropping down there quite badly. Ice-T up into 7th position. I think we're seeing a little bit of drama there in the back. Pickler seems to have had some kind of issue. We've got a... what's that? Ooh, a Red Bull there running wide. That is Baztek dropping right to the bottom of the field there. So plenty of action going on towards the back. But at the front, LCR Ben using the ultra soft tyres very, very nicely to create a gap here on lap 1, followed by another Benzilla holding on to 2nd position. Amaze, that was a fantastic move at the end of that first complex, moving up the inside of 2 cars there, and he's moved up into 3rd position. And we're just waiting now. These cars take so long to get down the straights, despite having all the horsepower you could want. And it's looking reasonably spread out here at the front in these early stages. Vader has not made any progress whatsoever. Let's check the position change here. He's gone down 2. His teammate's gone up 2. So not a great start there. But RSR Danny, look at that. That is a cracking effort. From last on the grid, up 10 positions into the points. Great effort there. What are we seeing in terms of tyres? We've got most people on the softs. A couple of guys trying the mediums. And of course, we know that Ben there is on the ultra soft tyres. Right. So, there is Vader making up a spot there on Ice-T. Crucial move there for him. I think Ice-T, someone who we could see doing well in this race, so it's good that Vader is through on him from an ERL perspective. Oh, Frobo Joba there. Looked like, yes, he has. Yeah, that looked like contact was coming, and it has indeed. Fredster has been spun round and has left, and Frobo Jobo is out. Baztek there in the 2nd Red Bull we knew had damage and run wide, and he's right there at the bottom. But what a disaster for Fredster and Frobo Joba. It's Pro Gamer there will now be moving up, but he's not had a great start either. Goblin there picking up a 5-second stop go for ignoring a yellow flag. Must have overtaken Fredster there, which is unfortunate. But Ben now under pressure. Those ultra soft tyres working for a lap or 2, but now they're going off already. And the hard work now begins. He's going to be having to fend off Benzilla all he can now. And that is going to be really tough for him to do for any length of time. Kimura puts in the fastest lap of the race there in 4th position. He's got past Bartek Fraz there. DRS are labelled on this lap, so plenty of opportunity now to overtake on the straights. And yeah, that is going to make things even trickier for Ben as he tries to hold on to the lead. It's only a matter of time, really, and really it's still going to work for him if he can come maybe into the pits in around 5th position maybe. That would still be a beneficial strategy for him, I suppose. We haven't seen Ben right up there towards the front so far this season, so this gamble has worked so far for him. But yeah, it will get tougher. ESR Amaze closing up on Benzilla. He's going to have a look now around the outside, but that's just not going to happen. Or is it? Because Benzilla kind of loses a little bit of momentum there in the mid-corner, and the ESR Amaze now side by side going onto the straight. Just drops a little bit behind, but now he's going to have the DRS, and all this is helping Ben. He's got half a second gap now going onto this straight. Benzilla won't be focusing on attacking, he's going to be focusing on defending. As Amaze goes to the inside, and he's going to get both of them here. He's gone down the inside of both the cars, but he's run Ben's wide, and now Benzilla is through into the lead. Amaze not helping LCR Ben's efforts at all there. Ben fighting hard now to maintain 3rd position, but he's just been pushed a little bit wide there by Amaze, going for a double overtake. And in the end, the winner out of that is Benzilla. The big loser is Ben, and Amaze keeps 2nd position out of all of that. But yeah, Kimura would have been hoping to slip through as well in his Renault, but Ben holding on to 3rd position there with all of his might, and not ideal for him. He's now going to create a big gap, you would imagine, as Ben holds everyone up in this section of track where it's hard to overtake. The other guys in front can just pull away now, creating a gap already of almost a second to Ben in this first part of the lap. And Ben Kind of knew it would happen, but that is a cruel way for it to lose the lead. Just losing him quite a bit of time there. Lap 4 now, so you might be looking to pit at the end of this lap, next lap. Could try and make those tyres last a lot longer, but there is just a danger there of just being sucked up by the rest of the field. What can Amaze do this time? Is he close enough to Benzilla? No, not really. I don't think that's going to happen. But Ben is going to be under a lot of pressure from one or maybe even two cars here. Kimura goes around the outside, but Bartek Fraz just slots in behind. I'm surprised he didn't go for it there. And he's maybe setting up for an attack on the pit straight, but that's not as good an overtaking spot as the big long straight going into the hairpin there. Side by side here, Tom and Vader, and Tom goes in front there of Vader. Vader trying to look back up the inside. That's going to be tight, but they managed to get through, both of them. Tom maintaining 6th position there nicely. And Vader not making any progress at the moment whatsoever, as Ben still holds on to 4th position. But look at this gap we said that Kima has got to make up. Vader now makes the move. Well, that looked like a pretty aggressive move down the inside there, but he's made it stick, and cleanly as well. Pushing Tom there a little bit off the racing line and going through. But yeah, look at that. Kima now got over 1 second to make up. He might be helped by the fact that these two are going to be battling though. And Maze looks like he's got a slight pace advantage over Benzilla here, but they do look pretty evenly matched. Ben now, surely this could be a real hit for him. He's on those tyres, and he did 2 qualifying laps on them as well, so they're going to be really pretty knackered now. Oh, that is Red Bull going into the wall there. Has he managed to keep it out? I think he has managed to somehow keep it out of the wall, but he's lost a lot of momentum, whatever. And Kimura here, Vader, looking at the outside of Ben. That hasn't worked. Ben's kind of pushed him a little bit off the track, and now Bartek Fraz is going to regain 5th position. Vader there making the move on Bartek Fraz, but not making it stick on Ben and losing out there. Ben dives it into the pits. Those tyres would have been right on the edge. So that is probably the right decision to make. Now these two left to fight between themselves. Bartek Fraz holding on there for the moment, but Kimura looking once again down the inside. He likes that move, and this time he's made it stick, and he is through into 4th position. But look at the gap that he's got now. 3.2 seconds he's lost out of that. Let's look where Ben has come out of that pit lane. He's come out in a nice bit of clear air. That's worked out brilliantly for him. A long way behind it's Pro Gamer, but a lot of guys have already pitted due to like problems or just strategically a long way behind him, so he's got a nice bit of clear air there. We'll get the tyres up now as we're seeing a few people dive into the pit lane. Yeah, a lot of those guys making pit stops in the first lap, but we have seen a few people come in since then. Let's turn our attention to the battle for the lead. ESR Amazed, closer than ever here on Benzilla. He's not had a great run through there. He could still be close enough though. Very effective DRS here, and such a long straight. If you get your ERS deployment and everything turned up, you can make a move, and Amaze is going to try it. He's looking down the inside. He's drawn alongside nicely, and he's got that move stick. Classic move, really. Executed very, very nicely indeed. I think we need the tyres. Now, if you had a quick look at those, Kimura already catching up there. What's Vader doing behind in 4th position? He's making progress as well, but not quite as much as Kimura. Kimura has made up about half a second so far. Vader a couple of tenths on his teammate. So actually, Vader may be the quickest car out of this top 4, but he's got to make up. Can Benzilla keep up with Amaze now? That's the big question, because I kind of think that Amaze has a slight advantage pace-wise. Not big, but slight. And Benzilla has now just got to hold on, try and keep within the DRS, and that will help. We saw in the Tier 1 Bahrain race last week how Leopard was gaining ever so slightly on MG It's Joe. Then he got within the DRS, and it just made things so much easier for him. And it's the same with holding on to someone as well as chasing them. It does make things a lot easier if you can stick within the DRS. which at the moment Benzilla is doing nicely. 0.7 of a second, so he has lost time over the lap, but not massively. And that DRS as well will help him defend from Kimura, who's another 0.7 back there in 3rd position. Not a good qualifying for ERL, but they look like they have got the race pace, so we've got to watch out for them. Not dominating at all like they did in Australia or Bahrain, but they're still in a good position here. 21 laps to go. We've got a 5-second penalty there for Bartek Fraz for exceeding track limits. We had this last week as well, where there were penalties being given out, 5-second penalties for corner cutting, but now we've got a couple of 3-second penalties being shoved on there, which is the more traditional penalty that you see. One of those was Chris Macca-Jones, who's showing good pace at the moment, but that penalty is not going to help him. And then we've got RSR Danny. I was really disappointed to see him at the back of the grid, because I knew he's quick, and he could have been a contender at the front. He's made a fantastic start, and he's showing that he has got that pace now. But he's a long way back after that qualifying, a really long way back, in 8th position. Despite a fantastic start, he's still got a lot of work to do. Looking around the outside now of Chris Macca-Jones. Surely that's not going to happen, and no, it doesn't. Macca-Jones holds it off by keeping the line there, and that has maintained his position for now. They're falling off a little bit from Tom and Bartek Fraz. Tom kind of gaining on Bartek Fraz, who was passed by Vader, of course. So Bartek Fraz doesn't quite have the pace of those front runners. Good pace in Bahrain, did Bartek Fraz. But just couldn't quite get the result together in the end. Let's go back to the front. Gap's kind of staying about the same. Around about 0.7 going on to the straight, which of course closes down with the help of the DRS. But yeah, similar kind of pace between them. Oh, and there goes Danny. Through on the inside, as Tom also had a look there at Bartek Fraz, but couldn't quite get it done. Danny up into 7th position. What's he got? Got 1.3, then not too far, so he's only about 6 seconds off the podium places there. He could do something with that. He could be on the podium. Still plenty of time to go, but it is going to be quite a bit of work there for the Thrive Esports driver. I think this is closing up at the front now. These guys keeping around half a second gap now. Oh, Tom is finally through on Bartek Fraz, but he hasn't done it cleanly. He's kind of moved Bartek Fraz off the track there. Just caught the end of that, unfortunately. Not the move itself. But Tom is through and up into 5th position there for Sync. That's helped Danny. He's closed up now Bartek Fraz. Well, I don't think has had a very good time of it, really, in this race. Kind of moved backwards since lap 1, unfortunately. But he's still holding 6th, I guess. Here's an opportunity for Kimura. Sorry. We've got Kimura now. Half a second off Benzilla. But yeah, as I said, that DRS that Benzilla's got on Amazed is really helping him defend from Kimura there. So that is ideal. Bartek Fraz now going back through on Tom, but Tom has side line, which should mean he can hold the position nicely. Indeed he does. Yellow flag. Any idea what that could be for? Nothing obvious. Oh, Tom has left the session. A disconnection there for Tom, surely. As Vader comes into the pits on at the end of lap 9. It's quite an early stop for him. And yeah, that is a disconnection for Tom. What a shame for him. Up into 5th position, but he's disconnected and lost out there. Or is that a puncture? That's a puncture. Is it? No, it is a disconnection. Sorry, I thought for some reason he had a delaminated rear right tyre. No, it was a disconnection, as I thought originally. Yeah, he's lost that 5th position now. Danny moving up a spot, and Bartek Fraz as well. Tom now rejoining. Hasn't lost him out too badly. But of course it takes a few more seconds to join from when he's into the lobby, because he needs to get control of his car again, so that is losing him more and more time. Yeah, where's Vader come out? Vader's found a nice bit of clear air there. Into 12th position. 6.7 seconds to Snipers, so he's got a nice gap now. Oh, Benzilla! Benzilla's lost it! And Kimura moves up into second position. Benzilla gets the car going again, but he's not going to have any momentum now going onto the straight. Could Bartek Fraz move up into the final podium position? Not quite. Benzilla still able to hold on there, but I don't know what happened there. Looked like he lost it by himself, unless there was possibly contact. Right, our leaders are in, so actually not an early stop from Vader. I thought they'd go a couple more laps, but they're all coming in now. Maze, Kimura, Benzilla, Bartek Fraz, Danny, Chris Macker-Jones. Of course, Clone Troop stays out because his teammate's in the pits. Sync are going to be double stacking as Tom comes in, who of course just had that disconnection. Let's watch out then. Has this worked for Vader? Has he gained time out of it by pitting early? 1 lap earlier, that is. I think he has. Obviously, Benzilla spun. Yeah, he's gained a little bit of time on his teammate Kimura there. But Amazed now got a nice gap there. That's worked out brilliantly for him. Kimura must have got held slightly in the pits. Because he's now got a gap of 2.6 seconds behind. Oh, and Kimura's made a mistake. Coming out the pits on the cold tyres, he's now made a mistake. Just losing the car slightly, and Vader has actually gone through on him now. LCR Ben, that early stop for him means that he kind of holds on. That was there or thereabouts with where he was on track. It's got ahead of Pro Gamer, who I believe made an early stop as... No, he hasn't pitted at all. Sorry, got that a little bit wrong. So yeah, still waiting for a couple more guys to pit. What are they on? So this is our medium tyre runners now. Clone Troop, Ice-T's on the soft, so he'll be coming in soon. But Reversal, Killer Snipers, they'll still be out there for a while. But they're going to be closed in, you would imagine, pretty quickly by our leaders. This could prove crucial, seeing how the leaders get through the front pack. Vader making a lot of progress on this lap, gaining on Amazed very, very nicely indeed. That tyres obviously, of course, up to temperature, so that's helping him. That's going to be crucial, how they get through the not back markers, the non-stoppers we'll call them. They're not back markers, they're just doing something a little bit different. Now Pro Gamer into the pits. Ice-T carries on the softs. He's our last soft compound runner. Still out there. And Bartek Fraz, what's happened there? He hasn't had a good pit stop because he's lost out to both Danny and Chris Macker-Jones. Danny making good progress here. I think we could see him... Yeah, I think he's going to be possibly in that podium fight with the two ERL guys. But those guys are gaining on Amazed for the lead. They're still taking time out, so it's not just the tyres going up to temperature. They are still gaining a couple of tenths on Amazed, so maybe a pace advantage now that they've swapped compounds of tyres. Bartek got a 5-second stop go. Thank you to OK Back to the Pit in the chat there for saying that. Of course, Bartek has had a penalty, so that's why he's lost out there to both Danny and Chris Macker-Jones. And he's just had a glitcher as well, who made an early stop onto the soft tyres. Tom down in 14th, unfortunately, due to his disconnection, which is a real big shame. But that race not over for him. He's on fresh tyres now, so he should move up back into the top 10 quite comfortably. Ooh, that's a mistake there from Kimura, another one. And he's got, again, I don't know why this game is giving out 5-second penalties there. He didn't, that was a mistake, and he's run wide, and unfortunately he's been given a 5-second stop and go. He'll be hoping that they don't have to pit again. I don't think that they'll come into the pits again, but yeah, he's picked up a 5-second penalty. Seems grossly unfair, because he just ran off the track and made a mistake. So I don't know why it gave him a penalty for it. Thomas set the fastest lap of the race, which is of course worth a point if you're in the top 10. So he's making progress back up the field. Ice-T has made his pits and he's come out into 12th. That's worked out alright for him. So he's gone quite long there on the soft compound tyres. So he's on slightly fresher medium tyres now, and he's still in a reasonably good position. So it's worked out alright for him. Big question is, what is Ben going to do and where's he going to come out? He's kept, as I said, he's kind of kept there or thereabouts where he was when he pitted, around 4th position I think it was. He's kept that, and he's going to have to make another stop. And that's going to put him down in like 14th position, isn't it? Because these guys on the medium tyres who haven't pitted yet are still a long way in front of him. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to quite work. Here comes Amaze. He's passed on the first of the medium tyre runners with relative ease. That's worked out nicely for him. Kima are quite a long way behind his teammate now. Obviously made that mistake coming out the pits, then a further mistake. Oh, Killer Snipers has lost it. He's lost the car, lost his wing. Well, part of his wing at least. As Vader does the fastest lap. And that has ruined his strategy. Snipers, he would have still been hoping to do more laps on those medium compound tyres. They would have still had a little bit of life left in them. And he would have hoped to do a one stop, but he's lost out badly there. So that's his strategy completely ruined, and unfortunately the livid racing driver there, he's going to be livid. I literally only thought of that on the spot when I said that. I think this is worth a punt, but it probably wasn't. He's going to be angry, because that's ruined his race, unfortunately. Alright, Benzilla has moved through on LCR Ben while that was happening. Up into a net 4th position. Of course, he made that mistake, which dropped him to 3rd on track, and then Vader kind of undercut him as well. But what a shame for the early race leader to now be a distant 4th. Don't think we'll be seeing him on the podium, unfortunately, but he's still going to be picking up reasonably good points for Sync Motorsport. Danny's still under a lot of pressure from Chris Macca-Jones. These two have been kind of glued together since the pit stops. Of course, they were battling earlier. As Amaze now passes a reversal, again with relative ease in the braking zone. That's worked out nicely for him. Not giving Vader the chance of making up any time. That gap's still 2 seconds between those two guys. Clone Troops in the pits. Those medium tyres not really lasting as long as they would have hoped. And if they can only make it last 14 laps, are these guys who pitted on lap 10 possibly going to struggle to get their tyres to the end? We will see, I guess. There you go, Clone Troop. Where's he going to come out? He's going to be in a reasonably good position, but those soft compound tyres are never going to do half the race. He's coming out side by side with Ice-T, who of course went long on the softs at the start. He'll be able to one stop. He's defending from Tom now. Yeah, Tom, this hasn't worked out brilliantly for Tom actually. That disconnection really has cost him, because he's not made up the positions on the stops I thought he would. Real shame for him. He didn't deserve that. He was having a solid race again. He's been a really solid driver so far this season, picking up good points in rounds 1 and 2. Right, here comes Vader now on reversal. He's going to go behind at the DRS detection zone, so he'll have DRS and should be able to easily make that move stick on the straights. Gets the run through now, and that's going to be nice and easy for him. Reversal doing a good job here. He's the last man not to stop, isn't he now? Right, yeah, he is the only man not to stop. So he loses a position there. But we're just waiting for him to pit now. Let's take the tyres off. I think we kind of get the idea now of who is where on their strategy. Reversal doing a very good job. I think Ben could be coming in pretty soon. Oh, Reversal's coming in now. So that's 15 laps he's done on those tyres. 13 on softs. That's asking quite a bit, I'd say. Ben carries on for the moment. I think he'll be in pretty soon, as I said. He's been closed down quite heavily now by Danny and Macca-Jones. On much fresher medium compound tyres. And Reversal coming out further behind than I thought. We've got this big gap, haven't we, from kind of 12th to 13th. The guys have kind of had problems, points in the race. Quite a long way down. Oh, Clone Troops ran wide there. Off the track. Clone Troop will be heavily pressuring Bartek Fraz, who of course is on the mediums. Clone Troops on the softs. But there's going to be a lot of work to get those tyres to the end. More than half. It was half the race for Clone Troop, almost half the race for Reversal. He's going to be asking a heck of a lot from those soft compound tyres. Right, here comes Danny. He's right on the... Oh, that gap for the lead is closed right down. Vader's within DRS now. Suddenly that has changed. Amaze has lost around a second. At the moment, these guys are the closest on track though. Danny closing up on Ben. Clone Troop passing Bartek Fraz into the braking zone. We've seen so many overtakes here at the end of the DRS zone, as you would expect. It's a shame, really. You'd kind of want to see overtakes in more exciting places than with DRS. Now Ben is into the pits. Kind of expected that. He'll be able to last those softs to the end. You would think he did 11 or so laps on them there. So he's just got to do that again now. As Macca Jones looks down the inside of Danny. He's regained the position there on Danny. Danny tries to fight back on the inside, but Macca Jones will have the run now. He's got the line. As we go into the hairpin, will Danny try and bounce back? He does get late on the brakes, looks around the outside. Macca Jones doesn't show much space, but it's enough. It's fair racing. Danny looks down the inside. They run side by side through there. And they're still side by side. Danny holding on now. He's got the inside line. This could be his opportunity. And he's got the position back. Fantastic driving. Holding my breath there, really, for those two guys. And Macca Jones could lose out to his teammate here. He does. Clone Troop moves down the inside on the soft compound tyres. If he can make those tyres last, Clone Troop's going to be in a very good position here. Up into 6th now. And looking very, very good. Despite going long on the medium compound tyres. Looks very, very cloudy here. If there's a possibility of rain. It is often cloudy in China though. Clone Troop holds the position into the braking zone, but Macca Jones is facing another challenge here. Oh no, Danny's run wide. Danny has run wide as Macca Jones loses out as well. So Macca Jones losing another spot, and so does Danny. He loses out to Clone Troop after just running a little bit wide, which has unfortunately cost him position to the hard-charging Clone Troop. Macca Jones looks down the inside of Bartek Fraz to try and regain that spot, and he does. He does do that very, very nicely. He's just got the line now. Bartek Fraz won't be able to go back through. And now Bartek Fraz has got to look behind. This is great racing between these guys. Tom there in 9th, and Ice-T. Look out for him. He's, remember, on a couple of that fresher tyres. On the medium compound tyres. It's showing him on soft, but he's actually on mediums. He's gone down the inside there, and he's got that move done on Tom. Nice move there by the Tempest Shoot driver. Let's go back to the lead. Plenty of action going on there, but the battle for the lead is also hotting up big style. And I think that we could see a change for the lead here, and Mace has done a fantastic job to hold off Vader for this long, but it looks like Vader has now got the pace advantage for ERL. He's going to have the run now with DRS. What can Amaze do? I don't think he's going to be able to do very much, really. I think this is going to be a DRS flyby. Vader goes around the outside, but he doesn't quite have the straight line speed you might expect. Can't draw in front, and Amaze holds it on the inside in the braking zone. Good defending there by Amaze. He holds on for another lap. Benzilla a long way back in 4th. Then we've got Clone Troop pulling away in 5th. Danny and Macca Jones drawing together once again. Oh, Vader's trying to look around the outside. Surely that's not going to work. That's asking a lot of the car to be able to make a move around the outside of turn 1. I'm surprised he drew alongside on the pit straight. Maybe just saving up his ERS for the pit straight rather than the main straight to try and catch Amaze off guard. Is he going to look into the hairpin? He does. He goes down the inside. Is he going to be able to get it stopped? Not quite. He just loses the car. He made the corner, but he just lost the car. And Amaze was able to take a nicer line there. But what's happened there? Amaze has kind of ghosted and dropped behind. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Amaze ghosted and just dropped behind Vader there, and I don't know why that happened. That's a great, great shame there. That looked like he'd held on to the position, but he's lost out now. And he's under pressure from Key Mirror behind, but he is also going to be within DRS. Oh, and Amaze picks up a time penalty. A corner-cutting time penalty. We know Key Mirror has one as well. But his was a 5-second penalty, which is very, very odd. So that might be reduced to a 3. Oh, I think Amaze is going to lose out here. He's not going to be close enough to repass Vader. He does have a look, though. Oh, and he's made contact! A very aggressive move, but he's somehow made it stick. Didn't really look like he was in position to make the move, but he's done it. Kind of just nudged Vader a little bit there a cheeky move, but no major dramas from it. He's regained the lead. Vader now looking around the outside, and he's got it done this time. He was close enough alongside to draw in front, and then took the racing line. Another penalty for Chris Macker-Jones there. He's picking up a fair few corner cutting penalties. Vader back into the lead, despite Amey's best efforts there. Kimura still holding on to third position. What drama we're seeing at the front here. It's the ERL guys once again clear at the front, but ESR Amazed is giving them all he's got in the 183 Williams car. But is it going to be enough? I don't think it is, because Vader is starting to pull away. Penalty there for Goblin. He's a long way back anyway, outside of the points. I think Vader is pulling away now. I think this is going to be it for Amaze. He's fought so hard, and we kind of hope that the battle goes all the way to the end, but it looks like the ERL guys are starting to pull away here. He's going to be within DRS because he was within second at the detection zone, but he has now dropped outside of it. He's using DRS here, but also Kimura will have it. He's going to look to make the move. He doesn't make it. Amaze looks very strong into the braking zone. Very strong into the braking zone at the end of the hairpin. And I think that's what's helping him hold on here. But he's falling behind Vader. 0.8 of a second despite the assistance of DRS. And it's looking very good. Let's have a quick look at the telemetry, because this proved pretty crucial last week in terms of how they were looking on ERS deployment. Vader's about 30%, that's no big drama, but Amaze is looking a little bit better. And so is Kimura. Those guys looking pretty good on their ERS. That proved pretty crucial last week. Tom. Oh, Danny's had a problem. He's dropped into 9th position there, as I think him and Chris Macker-Jones might have had a slight coming together, because Tom has managed to move up past the both of them into 6th position. That's nice to see after his unfortunate disconnection cost him badly. He's back up into 6th position. Danny's progress, he was making so much progress in the first stint. He's not quite managing to do it in this second stint, getting caught up in battles now and sort of dropping back, if anything. So that's a shame to see. He was kind of in that possible podium fight, but not able to keep up the pace on the medium compound tyres. Reversal making progress on the softs there, but he's a long way behind Ice-T. Same with Ben as well on the softs. This is Chemo's best opportunity. He's going to be ahead going into the braking zone, and he's got the move done this time. Amazed held on all he could, but it is now an ERL 1-2 with 7 laps remaining. Vader looks pretty comfortable at the front. 1.3 seconds, as we said, slightly less ERS to be deployed than the other guys, but nothing major. He's got that under control. And over a second gap should hold him in the lead to the end, you would expect. But don't count your chickens. Amaze not giving up here. He's been passed, but he's going to have a look at repassing. You can see there, he's looking down the inside. A little bit of contact, banging wheels, but he's through. He's really not giving up. Kimura looks back down the inside, though. They're going side by side once again. We saw this with Danny and Chris Macker-Jones. But this time it's Amaze that comes out on top, holding it round the outside there very nicely indeed. You would have thought that Kimura would have had that at the mid-corner. Runs it a little bit wide there, does Amazed, but he is still in second position. So he's holding on. He's got a real never give up attitude, has Amazed. Really come to appreciate it over this race so far. When he's passed, he doesn't think, I've lost this. He's going to fight back. And yeah, really got to give him credit here, but also credit to Kimura for keeping on coming at him. Once again, he's got the run and he's through at the end of the DRS zone. Once again, going up into second position at the end of the lap. What is Amazed doing in terms of his ERS? He's not... I think he is using it at the moment to try and stick with Kimura, but he's not going through it at a massive rate of knots, so he has got good pace. Obviously, we've seen him hold the lead for 20-odd laps, wasn't it, before he lost it to Vader. So he has definitely got pace. I do just feel like he's going to have to deploy a lot of that ERS if he's going to try and stick the key mirror, though, into the closing stages. He's not close enough this time. We'll come back to that at the straight. Let's just go back through this. This is kind of spreading out now. Clone Troop is making that strategy work. He's still got 5 laps to go on those soft compound tyres, which will be kind of crying out in the last couple, I would imagine, to do 14 laps. Tom in 6th, Bartek Fraz in 7th. Danny and Macca Jones kind of losing out quite badly by fighting each other. They're 8th and 9th. Ice-T not making the progress I might have expected on the fresher medium tyres. I suppose maybe the last couple of laps will be where that really benefits him. And he holds the final points paying position. Right, let's go back to Amazed. 6/10 down, but he's gaining big here. He's got a lot of straight line speed as Amazed. He's going to have a look surely going into the hairpin. He does. Ooh, a little bit of a touch again. They're going to be side by side going into the final corner. Kima is just going to be ahead. They're losing so much time to Vader. This is Vader's race to lose now. He's pulling away nicely. Oh, and I was just about to say Benzilla's closing in, but now he's picked up a time penalty, which is going to cost him any chance. Of course, these guys have got corner cutting penalties themselves. Have Kima and Amazed. And Icy's just picked up one as well. We've seen plenty of corner cutting penalties here, which is a shame, as it will affect the race results at the end, you would imagine. But yeah, I don't think Amaze has quite got it. I think it's an uphill struggle if he's going to get second position here. Kimura has got the advantage in terms of pace. Amaze just kind of making use of his good straight line speed and DRS to hold with him. Oh, the gap's outside of a second. The gap is outside of a second. He's run it wide there as Amazed. Blue flags coming up here, so Vader's just oh, that's just Fred's disconnected car after he left after contact. I think that gap was over a second at the DRS zone, and it is, so there we go. I think Kima has got that now. It's looking like it's going to be another ERL 1-2, unless Amaze can do something. But now he's outside of DRS. That's going to have to rely on a mistake from Kima, isn't it? Just hasn't quite had the pace in this second stint. But yeah, I think that is now looking good for ERL. 4 laps left to go as they now kind of start lap 25. Still pretty close here, so we've got gaps between a lot of the cars, but not big gaps at any point really, up until kind of until about 12th there, where Ben's quite distant. Unfortunately, his strategy not quite working out, but he'll be able to remember that pole position that he took in China in URC, which will be a nice memory for him. But unfortunately, it hasn't really worked out that strategy in the race. Surely Clone Troop's tyres are going to start going off, but he's got 3.6 seconds, so he can manage that. That strategy has worked. I didn't think it would, I'll be honest, bitting on lap 14 on the mediums, but it looks to have paid off for him. He moved through the field nicely. When there was lots of battling going on, he kept his nose clean, got through nicely, and now he's doing a really good job. And Tom's done a good job to fight back through to 6th as well, after his disconnection, which cost him probably about 8 seconds, I'm going to say. It's a rough estimate. And a lot of positions, which is the main thing. Bartek Fraz has kind of been on a... Oh, hang on. What's that for? That's for Goblin, who's retired. He's had a miserable race, unfortunately. Has the BPRL driver. Bartek Fraz has sort of been going backwards in the first stint, but has done a good job in the second stint to be in 7th. We kind of spoke about Danny, who's now pulling away from Jones. And Ice-T could be making a move here. And he does, into 9th position when he runs it a little bit wide. And Macca Jones comes back through, but not very cleanly. Tapping wheels there. And Ice-T back down into 10th position with a few laps to go. Reversal's going to be fighting hard to try and catch up with those guys. Macca Jones has a couple of penalties, and we know that Ice-T has a penalty as well. So if Reversal can avoid getting a penalty, there's a point here for him. A reserve drive, of course, for BPRL today. I think this is where the main action is, really, because we've got a 2.4 second gap at the front now. Mays dropping back 2.6 seconds now. Benzilla in 4th, closing in on that final podium position. Both him and Amaze have got a 3-second time penalty, so that evens itself out. And that'll be interesting. And Clone Troop as well, still showing good pace, so you never know where he might end up. He could nick a podium spot if something happens in these last few laps. Vader's just going on to the back straight now and about to start his penultimate lap of the race. Right, so the time is 5 to 7. So this race has been quite a long one. The Tier 1 action will be getting underway pretty soon. It's due to start at 7. As soon as this race ends, we'll be going over to that coverage, hopefully, with James Baker and Chuk as well, Ollie, commentating on that race. So that should be an interesting one. Lots of drama we saw last time out in Tier 1, and I think we could see more of that. So stick around for that. Thank you for those who have watched this Tier 2 race. We're just kind of coming into the closing stages of this action now. That's another penalty for Macca Jones for extending there. Icy was also off the track. But Macca Jones is not going to finish in the points here because he's got 3 time penalties. Icy looking around the outside. This is where the tyres should be working for him now. 2 lap fresher tyres has Icy got. He is on medium tyres. I don't know why it's showing him on softs. It's really annoying when it does that. But he is on medium tyres. 2 laps softer than newer than the rest. Danny a long way clear now of Macca Jones. Macca Jones has kind of faded off. But those 2 guys were very close for a lot of this race. Going to be close, I think. Oh my goodness me, Benzilla's within a second of Amazed. This would be cruel luck for Amazed if he was to lose the final podium position here to Benzilla. He's had a very strong race as Amazed, but he has faded. And I think that fighting with the ORL guys has maybe taken a little bit out of him and broken his rhythm. Benzilla, of course, had that spin. And early on, it was Amazed who had the advantage in terms of pace on Benzilla. Benzilla having a look there. And very close. I think Benzilla could do this. But as I said, Benzilla was slower at the start of the maze. The maze passed him. Then Benzilla, of course, had that spin. But Benzilla's had a very strong second stint compared to Amaze, and he could nab a podium here on the final lap of the race. It's also closing up at the front, but I think like we saw in Bahrain, those ERO guys kind of controlling the pace to the finish now. They've had a very strong second stint here, despite starting low down on the grid. But here we go then, Amaze versus Benzilla, final lap of the race. I was not expecting this. As I said, I think they've both got 3 second time penalty, just 1 each. So I think that evens itself out. I don't know what Clone Troop's like for penalties. If these 2 battle with each other, Clone Troop might jump in front of both of them after the penalties are applied. But let's see what happens on track first before we worry about that. Benzilla is going to be pushing really hard through this section. Amaze will be desperate to hold on to 3rd position, but it's going to be tough for him because Benzilla is 4 tenths behind, and we all know that that is a nice little gap to work with going on to the DRS straight. Amaze has good straight line speed, but with DRS, Benzilla will have better straight line speed. That we can be sure of. It's all about the run now. And he's got a good run onto the straight. Amaze goes defensive straight away. And now it's all just about how close Benzilla's going to be getting into the braking zone. They're going to be side by side, but Amaze is going to have the inside line. I think he's done enough. Benzilla looking around the outside. Amaze just kind of pushes him off there. And Benzilla is not going to take the final podium position. Once again, the Eero drivers cross the line side by side. It's Vader, Chimera, then Amaze rounding off the podium. Benzilla in 4th. Clone Troop jumps Benzilla though because of the penalties there. Tom crosses line in 6th. Vasek Fraz holds on to 7th in front of Danny. Ice-T is going to be 9th. And then Macca Jones is going to drop out the points, and Reverso is going to take the final point because of all the penalties that Macca Jones had. So BPR Reversal does pick up a point there. But yeah, there we go in the end. Clone Troop, oh, he did almost take it. 1.5 tenths off. Those guys did fight, and it almost worked Clone Troop within 3 seconds of the podium. I don't think Benzilla will be very happy about that kind of running wide on the hairpin, but Amaze did have the inside. He was just in front, I think, so it was kind of what you would expect to happen. We'll see. We'll see what comes of that. But yeah, Benzilla has unfortunately lost out there, dropping into 5th. What an effort by Glentroop though. I really thought he couldn't do it. I really thought he couldn't make those soft compound tyres, but he did, and with good pace as well. So did Reversal. He patted a few laps later, and in the end, picked up a point. Despite not finishing 10th on track, still a good effort there to pick up a point. Anyway, there they are on the podium. We'll just be going over to the Tier 1 action in a couple of seconds. But before that, we'll see the ERL guys celebrating another 1-2. They had to work hard for it this week, but in the end, their pace at the end of the race was very, very good. Now they are celebrating with the ears are amazed. Just held on in the end to 3rd position. Oh, what's happening there? A smog seems to have descended suddenly on China for some reason. But yeah, outside of the top 3 there, we had Clone Troop in 4th. Plenty of penalties there, but not for everyone. Benzilla in 5th. Then we had Tom in 6th, Bartek Franz 7th, Danny 8th, Ice-D 9th, then Reverso in the final points paying position, Macca Jones in 11th. Then LCR Ben, shame for him that didn't work out from pole, but that strategy was going to be an uphill struggle. LR Glitcher 13th, It's Programmer 14th, Bastek in 15th, Killer Snipers in 16th, then it was Pickless in 17th. He DNF'd actually late on. Fredster disconnected early on, and then Goblin and Frobo Joba retired. Well, Fredster didn't disconnect, he left after an instant. But everyone who did finish was on the lead lap and within a minute as well, which is always nice to see. But there we go, that is the classification from the Tier 2 race on the Xbox One here in China. And now we'll be handing over to the action in Tier 1 in just a couple of minutes. Thank you very much for watching this race. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a good race full of plenty of action, and in the end we saw the top 8 there within 10 seconds, which is always very, very nice to see. There we go then. I've been James Casey, and that is it from Tier 2. Enjoy the rest of the night's action.